Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and a big thank you for joining me on another episode of the potential superstars of FM22. In the last episode we showed you a Barcelona left back that turned into a world-class left-sided player, and in today's episode we have another player who could fill that role, who is also a defender. And as you can see from the screenshot above, we have Tino Livramento. He is an 18-year-old English player who starts the game contracted to Southampton. He starts off on £10,000 per week until 2026, so it's a 5-year contract at the start of the game. And Southampton value him at £23 to £69 million. And as I mentioned, he starts off as a defender right or a wing back right, but you can see that he can also play further on up the pitch on the right hand side, also can be a makeshift centre back, and can also play on the left hand side of the defence too. So looking at him as a player, he has again quite raw stats in terms of being a left-sided or right-sided defender. You can see he has crossing of 14, dribbling of 14, first touch of 13, marking and passing of 11, tackling and technique of 13. With his mentals, he has aggression of 12, anticipation of 12, bravery of 12, decisions 12, flair 12, positioning 12, teamwork 12, and work rate of 14, so consistent in the 12 range there. And in terms of his physicals, he has 16 for acceleration, he has 14 natural fitness, 15 for pace, 14 for stamina, and 11 for strength. Looking at his media description, he's described as just a fullback, and he has no player traits developed currently. Looking in the bottom right hand corner at his career, you can see that he started off at Chelsea and has now made his way to Southampton. So, as I said, another potential player who has all the raw abilities to be developed into a world-class defender. Let's find out what happens in 5 years' time and see if whatever team he is at has managed to unlock that potential. Before we jump forwards 5 years though and show you what happens to Tino Livramento in FM22, please, if you're at this point in the video and you're enjoying the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button to help the channel out. Every time you click those buttons, it really helps us out. And in the last couple of months, the support that I've been receiving on the channel has been absolutely fantastic. So, if you're one of the people there that have already hit those buttons, we're going to jump 5 years into the future and show you what happens to Tino Livramento. So then, as promised, we have now jumped 5 years to the future. It's the 1st of July 2026, and you can see that Tino Livramento is now a Newcastle player. The Moneybags at the start of the game forked out some cash to steal Tino Livramento away from Southampton. So he's now a 23-year-old who has made 2 caps for the English full team. He has played 20 times for the under-21s and scored 2 under-21 goals. Newcastle have him on a £145,000 per week contract that runs until 2030, so he has 4 years on that deal, and he's considered at Newcastle to be a star player. Looking at his positions, they are exactly the same as at the start of the game. He can still cover on the left, mainly plays on the right, but his centre-back rating has also increased. So going across his stats now, in terms of the technicals, crossing of 14, dribbling of 15, first touch of 15, marking, passing and tackling are all 14, and technique is 15. His mentals have really come on, remembering that at the start of the game he was consistently 12s across the board. He now has anticipation of 17, bravery of 13, composure of 13, concentration of 13, decisions of 16, he has positioning of 16, work rate of 15, leadership of 14. Looking at his physicals, he really has come on leaps and bounds as a player in this department. Acceleration of 18, agility of 18, pace of 17, stamina of 16, strength 14, balance 14, jumping reach is 14, and natural fitness is 15. So, looking at the media description, he's still described as a fullback, and he now has developed some player traits to go with that. So he runs with the ball down the right, gets forward whenever possible, and refrains from taking long shots. So a little look into the bottom right hand corner will show you his career path. We're going to look at his 5 years in the save that we have just run. You can see that he starts off in 21-22 after his £5 million move to Southampton from Chelsea. He plays 36 games, 1 assist, 1 player of the match and a 7.01 rating. 22-23, 38 games, 1 goal, 5 assists, 3 player of the match and a 7.14 average rating. 23-24, 38 games, so a full season. Health here is not an issue for him. Goals 1, assists 2, player of the match 1 and a 7.04 rating. He then gets a big money move to Newcastle where they paid £45 million for him. In 24-25, he plays 37 games with 5 assists, 4 player of the match and a 7.20 rating. And then in 25-26, he plays 38 games once again with 4 assists, 3 player of the match and a 7.1 average rating, which gives him career stats of 187 games played, 2 goals, 17 assists, 12 player of the match and an average rating of 7.12. So a player who starts off as a bit of a rough diamond really turns into a polished one after 5 years. Bearing in mind he's still only 23 years old, and the price tag that Newcastle obviously paid up for him, and then they put that price tag on his head of 125 million in the upper range. You can see that he turns into a wonderful defender on the right hand side, or he can be turned into a centre back to play as a makeshift centre back too. So I think that Tino Livramento is a player who might be a little bit understated in the game. He does start off with a hefty price tag at Southampton, so if you've got the financial muscle of Newcastle, by all means go in and swoop, take him away from whoever he's playing for. Southampton at the start of the game, I don't think you can get him because he's just moved there, but later on in the game, if you can get him for around that price tag, he's going to develop. And like I've just said, at 23 years old, he has plenty of room for improvement. I think he's going to be a bit special in this game. So then, that's the player profile on Tino Livramento, and another one in the potential superstars of FM22. So what's your opinions and thoughts on how Livramento develops in FM22 after 5 years of the game? At the age of 23, do you think he's going to get even better? Let me know in the comments section down below whether you want to go for him or whether you think that maybe his price tag is a little bit much for the player that he becomes at the age of 23, and how do you think he will turn out towards the end of his career. So at this point of the video, if you're still here, a big thank you for watching. If you haven't already hit the subscribe and like button, please consider doing so as it helps the channel out. But for this episode, I'm going to wrap it there. A big thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Potential Superstars of FM22.